guys, welcome to my channel. I decided to do another one of these pouch recipes since several of you expressed interest in the previous one, and I figured I wanted to do a more immunity boosting recipe. Assuming you saw the first video, so we're just gonna go ahead and dive right into this. For those of you who don't know and it just might be seeing this, those really cute pouches that you get from Costco, the Kirkland brands, the vegetable fruit pouches, the applesauce pouches, they're nice and great and cute and all that, but they are so much more expensive, almost 3 times more expensive per quantity than a more nutrient dense version that you can make at home using these reusable pouches. And if you want to know how to get those, just go to the previous video, or actually I'll just go ahead and post those in the bottom bar below. Several of you sent me messages saying, oh, I'm gonna try this for myself. I don't even have kids, but this looks really good and it looks like it's really good for you. Just so that you know, I usually end up eating half of what I give to Joseph whenever he gets one of these packets. I love these, I eat them all the time. They are for kids, they are for adults, so this is not just a baby-friendly option. Here are all of our ingredients for this next recipe. I wanted this to be an immunity boosting recipe, and boy, is this just that. We have papaya, we have squash, we have collard greens, hemp seeds, we have these broccoli microgreens, and I'll explain why this is so good. We have our cinnamon and a little bit of salt, and all of these are very high in vitamin A and vitamin C. The papaya and squash are pretty high in vitamin C, and surprisingly, the broccoli microgreens are just as high in vitamin C as lemons. Collard greens, super high in vitamin K, E, and A, and of course, as you can tell from the color of orange that we see here, these are all very high in vitamin A. And notice how I'm balancing the vegetables, the grains with the fruit options that I have. Also, we have some coconut milk over here. This is not the canned coconut milk, this is the carton version, which is a lot lighter. And we are gonna go with some hemp seeds. Hemp seeds are really great. They're high in fiber and essential fats. And then again, we have a good amount of B vitamins and our soluble fiber in our oatmeal. The applesauce right here is more of like, I guess you could say, the sugar that helps the medicine go down. It's a sweet treat. It is good in nutrients, but it's not as nutrient dense as the other options that we have, which is okay. The point is we also want this to taste good. Some of you might already know this. I'm a dietitian. I did my master's in nutrition and dietetics. I have a PhD in rehab science, and I specialized my research in gut rehabilitation with probiotic therapy. Basically, all that to say is there is so much going on right now in the science in terms of microbiome. I'm not gonna make this a microbiome lecture, but I do want you guys to be a bit more mindful about the type of foods you're putting in your body, learning a little bit more about your intestinal wall, the gut lining, and all of the intrinsic factors that go into creating a healthy microbiome. It is very complex, but it is wonderful, and there's just one main thing that your gut absolutely loves, and it's fiber. It feeds off of fiber. It is literally the immunity powerhouse of your intestines. And I'm sure, as you might have heard, 70 to 80% of your immunity is not in the mask that you're wearing, it's actually in your gut microbiome. So these foods right here happen to be gut microbiome powerhouses, and I'm really excited about this recipe, mostly because it contains a pretty wide spectrum of soluble fibers and phytochemicals that you need to fuel the good bacteria in your gut so that you can produce something that's called butyrates. And butyrates, I mean, they are just like the guys that get rid of all of the pathogens in your body. If you didn't hear anything I said, and at least you heard about the benefits of micro broccoli greens, then you're pretty much good to go. No, actually, it's all about balance. There are some foods that your gut absolutely loves. This is one of them. I think this mix right here truly represents this idea of balance. And the reason why I have more options in this particular recipe is because of variety. The gut microbiome loves the kind of fiber that comes from a wide spectrum of food. So don't eat the same thing every day. Okay, so let's get blending. And just before we get started, just know that the recipe is in the bottom bar below. Our carrots, oatmeal, papaya, applesauce, our squash, and then we'll add our coconut milk. We're gonna go ahead and blend this right now and then add the rest of the ingredients right after. So I'm probably pushing my Vitamix to the limit right now because I think I added too much food, but let's see. So this is some steamed collard greens. It's probably 4 or 5 leaves worth. And I like collard greens. Oh boy, I don't know if this is gonna fit. And let's just throw in our hemp seeds for those essential fats, very important, our broccoli microgreens, and then our cinnamon and salt. Just a quick tip, I think it would be best to split your ingredients into 2 parts and then mix it all together, because for me in my large Vitamix, it was a bit of a challenge, but I edited the challenging part out. It's actually very good. I was a little worried about it tasting a little bitter because of the papaya and the squash with the collard greens, but it's actually just right. And at this point, it's pretty straightforward. Just take your little squeeze pouches, make sure the cap is on so you don't spill everywhere. And just remember, there's a little fill line right here to help guide you to not put more than that, otherwise it won't close over. Look at all this delicious food. I'm gonna go ahead and pour that in. Hopefully not make too much of a mess. And there you have your pouch. So here are all the pouches we were able to fill up, plus a few jars, and those are some old baby jars I had from before. So what you would normally pay anywhere between $30 to $40 for right here, we actually paid under $10 for. So this is really fantastic, and it's organic, healthy, nutrient-dense foods. And again, the extra just goes into little mason jars, and I use those throughout the week. And by the way, I have been doing this for Lucas, my husband. I go ahead and throw a whole jar's worth of the stuff into his smoothies, into his fruit smoothies. And it's a great way to get some more nutrients in there for him, because again, it's all about that biodiversity. It's about eating a large spectrum of different fruits and vegetables on a daily basis. The recipe is in the bottom bar below. If you have any questions or comments, just go ahead and post those below this video. I'm happy to answer them. If you enjoy this content, feel free to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching. It tastes like that apple cinnamon oatmeal, the ready-made mix that you get, but kind of better.